Hi there, this is Cody with the Leadspace customer success team, and today I'm going to give you a quick demo of the new Leadspace Sidekick application, which is a Chrome extension that lives alongside your LinkedIn and other websites and provides a layer of data intelligence directly from Leadspace. So the first thing I'm going to show you is directly on our website. So if we go to leadspace.com, you'll notice that we launched this week on Tuesday, and we have a banner right at the top of our page indicating that Sidekick is live. So if we click on the Try Now button, that will take you directly to the Google Chrome web store where you can download and install the Chrome extension. Now, just as a quick snippet, this is a Chromium-based extension. So it will work on any browser that supports Chromium, but we do recommend Google Chrome, at least in its first iteration. So once the application is installed, we would suggest that, depending on other extensions that you have running, that you would pin this to your extensions bar in your Chrome browser. So you can do that by clicking on the puzzle piece, then the Leadspace Sidekick application, click on the pin, and now we see Leadspace Sidekick on top. So I'm going to go ahead and navigate over to a LinkedIn page, and we are going to click on Leadspace Sidekick. And then the first thing that I'm going to do is just sign out, just to kind of give you the experience on what we would be looking at. So the first thing that you'll do, obviously, is you'll come to the Leadspace Sidekick page, and you're going to go ahead and sign up. So once you sign up, it's going to ask you to choose your business email address. This is very important. This needs to be your company email address. At this time, it does not accept webmail email. You will select a password, and then you will continue. Once you click continue, you will get an email that will ask you to verify your email. Once you do that, then you can come back to the login page, enter your business email and your password, and then you'll be logged in. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with my Google account. And now I am logged into Sidekick. So the first thing that you'll be presented with is a chance to essentially onboard and create your target audience for Sidekick. So one of the important features, actually the most important feature, is this idea of data intelligence and the fact that this app is AI driven. So the idea here for, optimal use is you tell us about your company, you tell us about the companies that you're looking to sell to, the type of people at companies that you're looking to sell to. And then we will use that to create custom buying teams, scoring for those buying teams, and then some intelligence behind who you're looking at and how we feel they would fit into the information of your target audience. So that's what we're doing here. So we set our target audience. We're going to go ahead and click review my definition. And then the first step, 1 of 5, will be to define your role. So what team do you work for? Sales, SDR, BDR, marketing, RevOps, leadership, or other. We also have an option for you to add how you heard about the app, which is important for our own internal analytics. Go ahead and click continue. And one thing that I will mention is that this entire process is optional. Now, we do recommend that you set up your target audience for the ICP, but again, you can skip this step all the way through and get directly to just looking at getting some data signals on those LinkedIn leads and contacts you're looking at. So I'm going to go ahead and click continue, take us to step 2. This is tell us about your company. So enter in your company name and click search. What this is going to do is this is going to look directly into the Leadspace company database, and we're going to use the text to try to find the best company match. So I've typed in Leadspace. This is the best match. We can see some industry, location, and employee size data just to confirm, as well as the website. I see this is the correct company, so I'm going to go ahead and click continue. The next step, 3 of 5, is the product. What are you selling? So based on your last search and the company that you chose, we will look and provide some pre-filled information based on what we know. You can change these and unclick as you need, and you can click new ones if you want in these different categories. The second thing that we're looking at is the average contract value. So when you sign deals with your clients, what is the average value of that contract? This is information, again, that can help us define that ideal customer profile. Same thing with the primary buying motion. Do you typically work more on the enterprise sales side, self-serve, PLG, and these other options. So we're going to go ahead and choose enterprise sales and click next. Step 4 is, who are you targeting from a company perspective? So this allows us to set some company criteria to define the ideal company targets. So I can choose employee counts. These are the ranges of employee sizes at the companies you're looking for. You can choose as many as you like. Again, some of these are pre-filled based on the company that I selected in step 2. We can choose company revenue ranges in the same manner, multi-select. We can look at different regions, or you can look at different companies in different countries in those specific regions. Again, this is a multi-select option. And then you can choose industries. So this is the list of the default industry values that Leadspace provides. This is based on the industry standard NICE. So you can multi-select as many of these industries as you're interested in. So I'm going to leave this as is, and I'm going to click continue. And the last step here is, who do we reach out to from a person perspective? So this is defining our buying group. You can see that we can define your ideal buying committee. The recommendation is 1 to 2 key roles, but you can add as many personas as you like. As you see, I have 3 here. I can click on the X to delete one, and I can add personas to add one back. We first define a buying role. Are we looking for decision makers, champions, technical buyers? I'm going to go ahead and choose champion. And then from here, you can select different titles. So we can look at different keywords. Let's say we're looking for software developers, and you can look in different departments as well. And we can also break it down by the level. So essentially what we are doing is we are building out personas using buying role as an addition to that to form a buying committee. And you can do that with as many of these as you like. Again, 1 to 2 is recommended. So I'm going to go ahead and click Finish Setup. At the end of this, you'll notice that depending on the license access that you have, this little initial process will give you 35 free credits. So that's 35 data point unlocks that you can use once we get into the app on LinkedIn. And we're all set. So we're going to go ahead and click Return to LinkedIn. It's going to take us back to our page. And now we have Leadspace Sidekick set up. So again, we're on LinkedIn. We're going to go ahead and click on the Leadspace Sidekick extension. And the first thing that it's going to load is the contact information. So I am on my LinkedIn profile. So it's going to pull in that information. And from the top down, we see my information, Cody Rex, my title, the company that I work for. This shows me as a weak fit based on the ICP that I set up in steps 1 through 5. Very likely because of my title being working in support and that not necessarily being a buying role. We can see different contact details. So I have already unlocked my email. I've already unlocked my phone number. So you can see that here. Anytime you have an unlock option for any of these, it's going to cost credits, and it will tell you what that credit cost is going to be. We also have in my contact details what my score is. So this shows that I'm a B+. This indicates there's good confidence with the data coverage. So this indicates that we are very confident that the email address and mobile phone number I've unlocked are valid and relevant to me, and I can confirm that they are. We see some professional attributes, department level and location. If I go to company, we'll be able to see the company that I work for. So I was aligned with Leadspace. This gives key company data, some firmographic data. I also get a corporate hierarchy. So it shows the global ultimate and then the current company that I have. And what's really cool is this, again, if you do that initial ideal customer profile, this gives you buying group information. So these are folks at my company, my colleagues, that the app has identified as a buying group. So we can navigate directly. This is our marketing director, Swati. If I click on her link, it's going to take me to her page. And now you can see that my contact information switches over to her. She is a strong fit. Target function, serious, seniority match, location match, target industry. So this matched on several of those ICP criteria that I defined earlier, whereas mine did not. And that's why hers is a strong fit and mine was a weaker fit. We see that here is her information as well. We don't have an email or a phone number for her to unlock, but we obviously do have her LinkedIn profile and then some professional attributes. Company should be the same as mine, Leadspace. We see that information here. One of the other cool features here is the similar tab. So what this will do is this will look at the key information of the person you're looking at, Swati in this case, compared against that ICP criteria that you've entered. And here are some 8 similar folks that we found on LinkedIn that would fit the same type of buying profile that Swati does. So we can go ahead and multi-select these. Let's say we want to add these to our list. We can click add to list. From here, we can do some default tags that we will provide, lookalike and new. You can also create a new tag if you like and look at some of the other tags that we have. Support shows up because the first role that I looked at was my own, so it automatically flagged a support flag. We could click that, and then we can apply to all, and then we've just added those folks to our list. Now you'll notice back at the contact, we can add any individual to the list. Same sort of screen. It's going to give you tag options. We can create a tag. We're going to save and add. Now you can see that contact is in your list. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my list. And here are the folks on my list. I have Swati. I have the 4 similar folks that I added that showed they had a similar buying profile that Swati did. And then I have some folks, myself included, and then another client that I work with, Andre, in my list. So from here, we can do some filtering. We can select all. We can select specific folks, and we can add or update tags. We can delete them, and we can share them. So if we click the share option, this gives us a few options. We can download as a CSV. So again, this is going to give us more of a complete profile picture of the folks that we've downloaded. We can also send these records directly to Salesforce, HubSpot, or Outreach. Now, in the future, we will continuously work to add these to as many systems as possible. These are the 3 that we have options for now, and I'll show you here in a moment how those can be set up. So you can link your Salesforce or your HubSpot and send these records directly to those systems, and then we've just empowered our CRM and our marketing automation platforms. We can also ask Sidekick. So you'll notice that in the contact option, that's an option here as well. I'm going to go ahead and click the Ask Sidekick button. So there are some next best actions here. So let's say I just want to understand, how do I want to reach out to Swati in this case? So let's click on Why Now. This is going to process, and then this is going to give us some suggested outreach. So this would be a theme of some communication that we could send to Swati. We could say, write an outreach email. So we could follow up and say, I want to be a little bit more specific. Give me an email. I can just copy paste and activate immediately, reaching out to Swati. So here we have that information. So we can access that by Ask Sidekick. And there's also that option here in the Ask Sidekick on the contact level. One of the cool things too is we do have a feedback option built in right at the bottom right. If you click that, you can rate your experience and you can give some quick feedback. So this goes directly to our product team, and this is going to empower all of the future enhancements and suggestions and the improvements that we make to this in the iterations moving forward. If we go up to the profile picture, we will see some different options. Upgrade. So this takes us to a page where it shows the different licensing costs and what's included in all of those. I won't go into these now, but you can definitely take a look. So on an individual starter basis, this is free. You get 25 credits a day. They do not roll over. So your users can access this today, start using it, use 25 unlocks per day, and then the next day that will reset. When you do the onboarding, you'll start out with 60 because you get that 35 one-time credits just for going through that onboarding process. And then different licenses from here. One thing to talk about would be the enterprise model. So this would be more for customers that might have, hundreds or thousands of sellers that are actually going to be using this. We can do a company-wide configuration and do some things on the enterprise level that are a little bit more streamlined for larger companies than maybe just these individual licenses. So back at the profile picture, we have a settings option. So if we click on settings, we can see we can sign out of our account. You can see the different cost of different things for credits. So to unlock a phone number would be 2 credits, email would be 1, technographic element would be 1, and then doing a CSV or a CRM export or share does not cost anything. You can upgrade your plan. The onboarding setup preferences, edit setup. If you ever needed to go back in and redefine your ICP, you can do that and then go right back through the steps. The display, we can hide the navigation tab. So this gives us a little bit of a cleaner look. And then this feature, capture contacts and companies from any page. So what this does is this gives us a way for Sidekick to detect and enrich contacts and companies on any web page you visit. Now, this is linked directly to LinkedIn. So anytime you open a LinkedIn profile, we're going to see the contact company and all the information we've talked about so far. One thing to note, since I'm on this profile here, you'll see that we have an email address. We do not have a phone number for Gabor. So if we unlock this, it's going to take 1 credit, and you can see there's a mouse over event that tells you how many credits that's going to take. So this is an example of what it looks like before we've unlocked. So if we go back to Sidekick, we're going to go ahead and go back to the settings, and we're going to take a look at this capture option. So here's an example of how we can use that crop feature. So when we have that enabled, we can click here and we can choose 3 different options. We can take a screenshot, we can select an element from a page, or we could do a full page capture. I'm going to go ahead and choose the screenshot option. And then I'm going to go to my calendar. So let's go ahead and choose it again. Sorry, I need to be on that tab, screenshot. And then what I have here is I had a meeting with one of my customers earlier today. These are the folks that were in that meeting. And essentially what this screenshot can do is it can look at LinkedIn profiles, or it can look at email addresses and potentially provide enriched information. So a way to capture from different websites that you're on or different documents that you're on online to enrich data such as email addresses and LinkedIn profiles. So I'm going to go ahead and capture a snippet from my calendar here, and then I'm going to crop. And then you'll notice in the bottom right, we see that it is enriching. And then here is the result. So we were able to find information for Gabor. And essentially, because the rest of these are first and last name, but Gabor has his full email address here. So now in my Sidekick, I can go ahead and click on Gabor, and then it's going to take me over to his LinkedIn profile. And now I'm at Gabor's profile, and I can see his information lifted here. So this is just another way that you can interact. We can select different elements from a page or do a full page screenshot. More to come on this as we add more features, but outside of LinkedIn, this is a way that you can interact with Sidekick as well. Other settings that we have options for, we can do setup of the integration connectors. So in the resources, we have integrations and submit feature request. So if we click on integrations, this takes us to the option to connect HubSpot, Outreach, or Salesforce. Again, you are rewarded for some interconnectivity here. So you would get 50 credits for syncing up any of these. And connecting is as simple as connecting, going through the authorization page and the dialog pop-up for that particular instance, and then logging in with your username and password. Of course, you need to have specific profile coverage. You want to cover that with your CRM or marketing automation platform admin. But anybody with a proper permission would be able to sign up for these. If we go back to settings, we can also submit a feature request. So if we click on this, this gives you an option to describe what would you like to see. As you're playing around with this, let us know your thoughts. Let us know features that you would like to add, and we'll put those right in front of our product team. We also have our terms of service and our privacy policy. These will link you directly to leadspace.com and those specific sections for each one of those articles. We can also change target audience. This is, again, the same thing as going back to the onboarding and setting up that ICP. You can refer a colleague. You can enter their name, email address, and their company. That will send them an invitation. That invitation will have a link for them to download the app. So this is a really cool and easy way for you to share this with your colleagues. You can see the chat history. So if you have done any sort of searches on using the AI tool or asking it to draft messages, we can see that outreach here, and we can click on it and navigate to it. Contact support. So this is going to take you directly to our support space. We do have a Leadspace Sidekick section here. This section does have an article of an overview and a user registration and setup guide that goes through the initial setup process. And then the option to sign out, and then your version. So that is the Leadspace Sidekick demo. We're really excited to bring this to you. We're really excited for folks to get in, play around with it. Again, it is completely free for you to do so. If you have any questions, please contact Leadspace customer support, your account executive, and or your CSM. We are happy to have any conversations to show it to you in real time or troubleshoot any issues that you may have. Thanks again for your time. Take care. We look forward to your feedback.